Good evening. Let the show begin indeed. Welcome to what we are, episode 66 of Combe TV, and it's great to see you all piling in with the comments and you're watching. That's what I like to see. Keepo. James Keeping says, evening all. Phil Martin. Hi all, have a great time Monday. Thanks, Phil. We definitely will. I haven't even bothered to look at the weather report yet, so if any of you know, keep it to yourself if it's rubbish. Dom, evening, mate. Hope you're well, buddy. We're on the way home. We'll tune in later. Good man. Don't forget you can watch it back afterwards as well. Evening, Mr. Dawes. Evening, Mr. Williams. Carl Alden says, evening all, longer intro than the cinemas. Leave it out, mate. Got to get the advertising in, mate, ain't I? Evening all, first dilly from me in 2023. There's a poem in there that rhymes, I think. That was decent. That was decent, that one. Chris Williams, Jez Williams watching. Welcome, Jez. Good to see you there. Our very own Emma Strawford. Nice short shirt, boyo. Have a great show. Thank you. Yeah, look. The new gear is looking rather decent, I have to tell you. And how cool is the shop? We got someone to help build the shop as well that's on the show tonight, I have to tell you. Darren Duffield, evening, mate. Good evening, people. Can't believe it. You're the other side of the fence this year, aren't you? You're running rather than racing. Lee Craddock, Synchro Racing here. Can't wait to see you guys back here racing on Monday in the Dave Allan Trophy. Looking forward to Monday, as are we, mate. Lewis Bird Motorsport, evening all. Evening, Lewis. And Ashley Hazor says, looking forward to Monday. Absolutely. Kipo says, shirt's a bit tight though, Em. No, it isn't. Look, it's just the way I'm sat. I've just had me dinner. All right, let it go. My moobs are on show for you, just for you, mate. But cheers. Welcome to the show. Sam Smith says, lovely gin glass, wafting that around like there's no tomorrow. Well, which one have I got? Dawsey Boy, Combe TV, Castle Combe Circuit 2021. That was celebrating the shows that we were doing. Dan Blake, evening all. He's actually been doing a lot of Clarking this year and a lot more to do, and he's actually going to be out racing, hopefully. They've been busy with that car. Chris James, good evening. Looking forward to Monday. Greetings, Chris, as are we. Cannot wait for it. And what a bumper program we have for us on Monday. Usual thing, starting at 8:30. Oh, goodness me, you guys are commenting quick. I'm loving this. Rob Jones, our very own Rob Jones. Evening, Chris. I'm looking forward to coming along on Monday with Martin Bennett to see the four-wheel side of thing. Well done, guys. It looked like you had a fabulous meet at the bikes last weekend. I was away having a dad and lad day with my pops for the first time since before I started commentating, watching the touring cars at Donington Park. It was a bit wet and a bit cold, but it was lovely to be out there. Tina Weston says, evening all. Oh, and hi, Ashley Hazel. Ah, okay. I see the link now. Pete Spiller says, evening, Dawsey from Spiller Villas. Shh, don't tell Mary I'm watching on her birthday. Happy birthday, Mary. And I'll keep it quiet, Pete. That's fine. It's your secret safe with me, mate. I wouldn't publicise that at all. Emma Mason says, hi, Dawsey. Hi, Emma. You're going to be busy this weekend, I'm sure. Emma Strawford, sad times, Emsky on the soft drinks now. You did have a sneaky glass of wine, but it's the softs now, isn't it? Right. What have we got going on tonight? Well, we're going to have a couple of guests in due course. We've got Sam Street that's coming on, and or Samuel Street as he's written in for his own name, so I need to check which one I'm supposed to call him. But Sam Street, that is in Class B in the Formula Fords. Wonderful race from him, in fairness. Did something that not many people have been able to do for a while, and that was beat Nathan Ward in Class B. He got driver of the day from that. He had bad luck in race 2, but it was absolutely brilliant. Sean Deacon says, evening, can't wait to hear what Sean Govad has to say. No stirring, Deacon, all right? No steering. Stirring. You can steer, that's allowed. Sue Woodland says, evening, Mr. D, looking forward to Monday. That's what I like to hear. Mark Osland says, can you organise some sun for Monday? We're trying. We are trying our best. It is Mayday madness, so who knows? We're just throwing everything in the mix and we'll have fun no matter what. Ah, wonderful. Look, our very own Lucky Carer, evening to the Combe family. You're one of us, Lucky, whether you like it or not. It is great to hear from you, my friend. Hopefully we'll see you one or more times over the course of this year, mate. I know I'll probably catch up with you at other circuits, but we want to see you back at Combe as well. Castle Combe Racing Club themselves saying hi all evening. They've been busy, I can tell you, really, really busy. And we've got some good entry lists that they've been working on. Matt Coyle, Saloon Car Coordinator. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Dawes, you've been working out. Yeah, look, I'm still doing it now, mate. Hey, that's how the biceps build up, mate. Got to keep it going. Scott Bolton. Hope it all goes well on Monday, guys. The lineup looks great. Sadly, I won't be able to make it as working elsewhere. No photographs from you then, eh? I see it. Tina Weston says, Ash is one of the amazing Orange Army. Ah, there we go. Thank you. Welcome. Evening all. It's Mr. Mason. I say you're going to be busy. I hope you're not going to be busy on Monday, mate. There you go. You asked about requesting the sun. Emma Strawford has said she'll have a word with Father. So watch this space, let's say. Emma's put a message. Josh says, evening, Dawsey. Hi, Joshy. Welcome to the show, mate. Welcome. I get in trouble because I keep you up past your bedtime, don't I? Gemma Jane Street. Evening all. Good luck for Monday. Goose as well. Good evening. Sat in Tesco's car park at the moment. I apologise. That means I'm probably using up your data credits there, mate. But welcome, buddy. I'm sure you'll be up at Quarry on Monday as well. Yeah, Chris Mason says not as busy as last weekend. I agree. Dom actually says Emma and myself are listening from my phone in the car on the way home from work. So that's obviously Emma, that is the Formula Ford coordinator. It's good to see. We've also had the Tina Weston in, that is the Hot Hatches coordinator as well. So wonderful to see you guys coming in, and you two, Dom and Emma, have a safe journey when you do come to us on the weekend. So, yes, as I was saying, 8:30 we get going with the qualifying, and it's the BCV8s. So those things are going to rumble and power through our circuit on the weekend. Where did I got stuff printed everywhere, so forgive me when I'm starting to fluff with paperwork. Whilst I'm doing that, we've got another one of the Orange Army. Chris here says, evening all. Evening, Chris. But yeah, we've got a pretty healthy entry list on the MGB CV8s that are out there, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Class B. So Ian Werry Thomas, Babak Fazian, Russ McCarthy, Paul Eales and Paul Linfield. Class C, we got Stuart Belfort sharing that car with Mike Chittenden, actually. Oliver Wardle, Andy Young, John Wheeler, Steve Wells, Ken Dreamer, Tim Rides, Chris Greenwood and Ben Tovey. In Class D, we've got Neil Fowler, Ian Pryor and James Wheeler. And they're the super powerful ones from memory. And in the Invitational, we got an MGA coming in with Peter Hiscock. How beautiful is that going to be? Really looking forward to that. Oh, our very own Margaret Talling, who was not at the awards to pick up a special prize. Evening, Mr. Dawes, from the Tallings in Spa-Francorchamps for WEC. See you Monday. I'm very jealous that I'm not out there covering WEC, I have to say. But happy anniversary, I believe, to you guys as well. Is it 49 years, did I see? Happy anniversary to you guys anyway. Apologies if I got the number slightly wrong. I try my best. Matt Coyle, jumping the gun as always, Coyle. He says the classic Bentleys are going to be amazing. I cannot believe we've got these. They were at Donington the other week. And I have to say, look at the size of that entry list for the classic Bentleys. If you don't know what I'm on about, have a look on social media for the Benjafields, BENJA Fields, all one word. And you will see these incredible historic cars that are going to be out racing. And from what I'm told, they do race them hard. And it's just going to be incredible to see these things out. Big, big monsters of cars. I think I've seen some comments from some Orange Army that are going, please don't expect us to push those cars. I agree. I don't think they're going to be able to get those cars pushed in terms of recovery if that's necessary, I can assure you. So that is the main one. I like to see that. Goose says that is a monster grid. I certainly wasn't expecting that. I know what you mean, Goose. I do. I really know what you mean. I was wondering if we would get maybe 10. Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I know that didn't make good TV then, but 27 of these classic Bentleys, historic Bentleys, big tourers and blowers and all sorts of things. 27 of them. How amazing is that? Gareth Haycock says that he's looking forward to racing the Mini in the hot hatch again on Monday. Great, glad to hear it, Gareth. Looking forward to that. And George Walker, who I'm assuming is also looking forward to racing as well in the Mini. Afternoon to you, mate. The Herminator, evening all, arrived late. To be honest, I remember that from Howard's day. You arrived late from further back on the grid and came monstering through the field. Thoroughly entertaining watching you guys in that thing. Chris Mason abusing me for counting those 27 Bentleys. He was amazed that I didn't have to use my take my socks off to keep counting. You're assuming I've only got 10 fingers and thumbs, mate. You know, I come from Yate. Come on. Right. So that's the visiting elements, if you will. The Benjafields Bentley Challenge and the BCV8s. Great to see. We got Sav here as well. Evening, Savage. Good to see you, mate. Hopefully we'll see you out racing at some point as well. Great to see the likes coming in from people. Emma Vokins. Hello, Emma. That, of course, is David George's stepdaughter. I think I've got that the right way around. Sean Deacon, Liz Wilson, Rob Jones, Scott Bolton. Crikey, as you add them, and suddenly disappear off my list. So apologies, guys, but great to see the likes coming in. Ashley Hazel adding the likes as well. Thank you, guys. Spread the word, because we're going to keep this going. And the shows are going to be more regular now as well. Justin Holloway says, really glad to be back at the Dave Allan following last year's withdrawal. Such a great event. Absolutely. Let me just quickly have a look. I'm going to bring up the entry list for the Dave Allan, and I'm going to have a look. The numbers are not bad at all. You never know whether we might get a few more. Oh, Sava said next month he'll be back out. Good man. Glad to hear it. Right, who have we got out in the Dave Allan? It's the 10th anniversary of this trophy, don't forget, so it is a big deal. Matthew Herman says, got a bit lucky with the traffic and the dry track. No, you had a brilliant fight through, mate. It was amazing to watch. More of the same. So we've got Mike Good out in the Vauxhall Corsa, Nathan Sutton in MGZR. Number 12, Jordan Billington out in his... I just realised that I've not printed this out properly, I don't think, because I'm going to have to bring up the actual spreadsheet. 2 seconds. Let me put it up here, because it's missing things like second drivers where we have them out here. Right, Dave Allan. There we go. That's better. I had it not showing properly. So, yes, Nathan Sutton in the MGZR, Jordan Billington in his Lamborghini Gallardo, the GT3. Oh, number 36. Pay attention here, people. Craig Smith in a Honda Integra DC2 is sharing that Team Dynamics Motorsport car with Matt Neal. We've got Matt Neal back racing as well. Craig Smith, who I think from memory was an engineer for Team Dynamics. Forgive me if I've got that slightly wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. And Matt Neal needs no introduction. So Team Dynamics Motorsport racing their Honda Integra DC2 in the Dave Allan Trophy. How cool is that? Really looking forward to that one. Mike Oldknow in a BMW Mini Cooper. Lee Craddock and Steve Davey out. Great to see Synchro Racing back. I think they've got a couple of cars out. Lee Craddock and Steve Davey out in their Honda Civic Type R Synchro Racing. It wouldn't be a Dave Allan Trophy without them, really, would it? 155 Graham Cox in his Renault Clio. Oh, I like it. Dave Spiller's out in his Mini Cooper, backing up his dad. Pete Spiller's out, going to set the lap times there, aren't you, Pete? Spiller Senior is going to be out. He's the main driver. Dave's just, the reserve driver for him as well. They're out in the Mini. Is that Nipper that you're out in, guys? We've obviously got Kevin Bird and Charles Hyde Andrews Bird, or Chab, as we know him, in the Porsche that we see in the GT Cup last year's in the Castle Combe GT Championship, last year's champion. Dylan Popovich out in his Ginetta G50. And I don't know if you noticed, he really got to grips with that car on Howard's Day. He was absolutely flying. I think he featured high up in our deliberations for Driver of the Day as well, in all honesty. Justin Holloway, you've just heard from, one of my fellow Swindonians. I keep forgetting that, Justin. We got to catch up for a beer sometime, where I'm sat here in North Swindon. He's out in his Renault Clio. Roger Good is out in his Fiesta. Julian Fisher in his Fiesta. Dan Blake, we heard from him earlier. He's hopefully out in his Clio as well. They've been sorting out a gearbox and going here, there and everywhere. And he says his dad has been amazing, putting in hours to try and get out there. We've got the Hermanators, Matthew and Jordan Herman. They're out in their Honda Civic FD2R. Good to see. Mark Sear in his BMW E46 M3. We're still waiting for your other car to come out, I think, aren't we, Mark, as well? Adam Preble's going to take his Astra out and fight with these guys as well. We've got Alan James in his Team Dynamics Customer Racing Audi RS3. That looks to me like that's going to be a TCR car, and he's with Matthew Stockford as well. So great to see those guys are out as well. Steve Bracegirdle in his Mini, Daniel Rowe in a Fiesta, Chris Everill Oh, sorry, I just missed one there. Daniel Rowe in the Fiesta with a certain Tony Hutchings. How cool to see he's back out and racing. Chris Everall, and unless I'm very much mistaken, and I very often am, as we know, yeah, Chris Everall and Ben Scrivens, they're back out in a Ginetta G55, and they're looking to see if they can defend their victory from last year. So they're back again in the 169 car. Jonathan Fish in his Renault Clio, Gary Franks in his Mini Cooper, and we've got a Honda S2000 out that hasn't done anything other than been driven to a garage to get its MOT by all accounts, with David Smitheram of Classic Sports Car Club fame and Tom King. And Tom hasn't, I think he was saying their qualifying is the first time he's going to get behind the wheel of this Honda S2000. So it's, there's a big learning curve for both of those two. And David's only driven it to get its MOT and things like that. So that Honda S2000 is going to be great watching those guys pilot it. So what an amazing field that we've got there. And of course, after qualifying, we then work out properly what classes everyone's in. And there are cash prizes from memory, aren't there? Is it that we've got cash prizes in it? I think it is. I'm trying to remember now that or was that the City Cup type thing that we've got later in the year? I can't remember. You guys probably know better than me if you're the one answering it. Dom Hazel says, looking forward to more frequent Gin Thursdays. The plan is at least one a month. That's where we're going with Combe TV again. It's a contract in place now, properly set up. And the plan is that we're going to be doing at least one a month. It's supposed to just be one a month. But as we saw, I did one last week for the bikes as well. So you never know. Lewis Bird says, I'd love to share a car with my dad at the Dave Allan next year. Absolutely, mate. I'd love to see that as well. That would be so cool. Pete Spiller says, we're having Matt Neal. He's gone, isn't he, mate? He's gone. You've got him beat, no problem. And I got it slightly wrong. Nooper. I wasn't far off, Pete, was I? I kind of was alphabetically close, wasn't I? There's enough letters similar there. Darren Gillam says, plenty of Swindonias out there, Chris. Sorry, Darren. Sorry, mate. Let's all have beers then. Let's all go. Let's go to Strawberry Thief or something like that. We'll all catch up, mate. I quite like gin, in case you didn't know. So we'll catch up there. It'd be good to catch up with everyone. Stuart Tinker Taylor. Hello, Chris and co. From a camp, softcore and fuffer fan. See you Monday. Emma says, what, no Corvette for Mr. Smitheram? No, he's in the S2000 for that one. It's from one extreme to the other, really, in a vet and the S2000. And Tim Perry says, I believe that you're right, Dorsey. I might screenshot that because that's not very often that gets said, let's be honest. Well, Stuart Tinker Taylor saying that he's a fuffer fan. Let's move to talk about Formula Fords. And I'm delighted to say that I've got a guest on. I got, as I say, a couple of guests, but the first one I'm going to bring on is a Formula Ford racer. Absolutely fantastic weekend for him last time. And I think he's going to get even better. He did come joint ninth in the championship, the overall championship last year. Cracking performance. Was on for a second great performance before the heartbreak in race 2. And he got our driver of the day, which I have to tell you was a very hotly contested one. But he got it this time. Let me just quickly, I'm going to do this because I've created a segue before I bring him on. And we're going to have our next guest. I love that, you see, I love that. But there we go. We've got the main man himself in. Let me change what we're doing because we don't need to see me as big. It's Sam Street. Evening, Sam. You all right, mate?
Hey, how's it going, Chris? How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And I need to get one thing cleared up. Sam or Samuel?
Sam. Go with Sam.
Sure?
I don't know why I put Samuel, to be fair. It's almost like a reminder to myself, more or less, because I think... yeah, I forget.
I only ever ask because if I get called Christopher, I panic and run in the opposite direction because it normally means I'm in trouble. If I get middle named as well, then you won't see me for dust. That means I'm in serious trouble.
Okay. I won't call you Christopher then.
No, please don't, unless you get reports of me saying something that wasn't right on the commentary, which happened. So, but welcome to the show, my friend. Let's just double check because as I've got Tim Street saying, "Go Sam." Who's that?
That's my dad. So
That's your
I think
dad.
my dad and my mum. I think my girlfriend's actually watching upstairs as well. I think my auntie and uncle might be watching. Probably like half the viewers are probably just family members at the moment. So
That's fine. It helps the viewer figures. That's fine by me. Welcome to the whole family, and that is lovely to hear. Dom does say though, "You're live. Do not swear." That sounds like a man in the know there.
oh dear, I haven't done it already, have I?
No,
Unfortunately, sometimes it just comes out every now and again.
no, you're safe. You're absolutely
No,
fine.
that's good.
Debbie Liner says, "Hi, Sam."
Yeah, that's my auntie. Bless her.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. Tim Street, he said, so your dad says, unless he's been bad.
Oh
So
dear.
he says, go Sam, unless you've been bad. And Emma, our very own Emma says, have you dried out after the testing today?
Honestly, no. I won't go into too many details, but some of my clothing I'm actually wearing right now is a little bit wet still.
Wow, was
It
it
was
raining that much?
it was probably the wettest I've ever driven Combe, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was very, very wet. There was like around camp, there was like just yeah, no grip, puddles everywhere. Sort of as usual, Exeter Tower gets its little puddle there. And a bit of nice aquaplaning a little bit down the sort of main straight. Yeah, it's still good
Wow.
stuff, really. So
Didn't even realize. I mean, obviously, I'm just down the road in Swindon. So what's that take me? About half hour to
yeah,
drive. It was rainy, but it wasn't that bad. I didn't realize you guys had had a tough time down there.
yeah, it was pretty wet. A lot of people just went home, but I sort of looked around and I said, "Oh, perfect time to go out, really."
True, makes it
Yeah,
quieter. That's a lot better, isn't it? So,
yeah,
yeah, fair
definitely.
enough. Well, it means that you got some practice in for if we get inclement weather during the rest of this season, I guess. It's the
Yeah, I've got
positive
my
spin.
fingers crossed. I'm normally a big fan of the rain and the wet, so yeah.
Well, it can level out the Class B and Class A cars, can't it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, even towards the end of the year events that we do, like the Walter Hayes and the Brands Festival, when it gets a bit wet around there, sort of brings our car into play a bit more and makes it a bit more interesting for us as well. And in the dry, like we try and hang on as hard as we can, but sometimes the Class A cars do pull away a little bit more. So
Well, Formula Fords aren't supposed to be driven in a straight line anyway, I don't think, are
no,
they?
no, definitely not. If you're driving it straight, you're not pushing hard enough.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Gemma Jane Street says fans out in full force.
Yeah, that's my sister there, isn't it? I imagine I've got two sisters. They're probably both watching. I'm not sure if my
Good.
brother Dan's watching, but he might have taken his time away from his PlayStation to
Oh,
give me a watch.
priorities, mate. Priorities. Yeah, we'll find out in a minute where you lie in these priorities. I'm
Yeah,
not one to
definitely.
stir her out, you know. Tim confirmed. Your dad says that it's a family sport. Of course it is, without question. And Emma confirmed. Monsoon came close. Incredible. I really didn't know.
Yeah, it was
Um,
pretty crazy. I literally was actually even working over at Grove this morning, and it was sunny over there, so I had
oh,
no idea. I didn't pack any spare clothes, no towel,
oh
no nothing, and I
no.
turned up and I was like, "What have I done?"
Well, at least you
Yeah.
have with Formula Fords, you haven't got to mess around with different tyres. They are what they are, aren't they?
Yeah, unfortunately, you're just stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, Jed Doyle confirms there's still plenty of liquid sunshine. I love that he calls it that. Falling in Chippenham right now, and here it's just it's drizzly, but not a lot. It's that, as Peter Kay says, it's that fine rain that soaks you through. That's what we've got here. Uh, Stuart Tinker Taylor, one of the camp's off course, says, "Good luck Monday, Sam. You soon will be streets of the rest." There you go, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Stuart, got to get in your puns, haven't you? And perfect timing. Your coordinator Emma Brown says 2 hours after finishing work, finally home, just in time to make sure Sam behaved.
I feel like everyone's sort of keeping an eye on me tonight.
I
Like, oh,
know it is. Right, final one before. Sean Winner. Hello, mate. We missed you on last week's show because you were over in Ireland, I think, on the two wheels. But one quick one I'll put up, and then we're going to move to asking you some questions. Hi, Chris. Hello from Dawn and Andy Butcher at the B42's Motorsport. We'll be there Monday running the car for Claire Pensome in a second ever weekend. Give us a shout out. I'll give you a wave from pit lane again. Well done, guys, and obviously they do some great stuff with the Orange Army as well. Right, Sam, moving over to you. First things first, speak to me. How long have you been racing?
Oh my God, how old am I? 14 years, I believe,
Really?
actually now. Yeah, I started when I was 13 years old in a sort of national autograss car. So dirt track oval racing.
Yeah.
Had like a little classic mini as my first sort of car, which I was quite fortunate. My mum and dad would support me from like quite a young age. I think my mum was pretty convinced I was really into motorsport before my dad. It took him a bit longer, I think, but then he went as soon as he realised, he was like, "Let's go."
Wow.
But
Were
yeah,
they into racing themselves or not?
my dad's very much sort of like he actually did a bit of grass track hot rod sort of banger race. Well, it's not banger racing, but it's like non-contact hot rod
Yeah.
sort of stuff when I was really really young. And he got into that, and he was really good at it. And I dare say when we go karting every now and again, he's always like, "I'm right on your ass, Sam," and I'm like, "That's not a swear word either. That's a
That's fine.
legitimate."
That's
Yeah.
fine.
He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh God," I always get a bit nervous when I go with him. Like, what if he catches me? But yeah, he got me very much into the sort of motorsport in general, and yeah, from a young age, I sort of picked it up when I was 13, started racing, and even mechanicking before that, to be honest, because he had a rule of thumb saying if you want to race it, you have to run it as well. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Oh,
oh,
wow.
okay, I'll give it a go. And then realized I was hopeless at mechanicking for a very long time. But eventually we moved on with Swift Cooper, and then they sorted me out. So
Right.
but yeah, I gave it a go, and yeah, so been racing a really long time. I did national autograss racing for I think it was 7 years. We did that for when we progressed from like racing like a sort of standard mini to sort of a more heavily modified sort of mini pickup, which was like a fully space framed machine. It was really extreme, really
Yeah.
really cool. It would rev up to I think it was like 9,000 RPM out of a naturally aspirated 1.1 liter A series engine.
Is that the
Um,
ones they show at the Autosport International? And when you boot it, the
mm,
fronts lift up.
Yeah, so they have them at the Autosport show. They tend to have like their own segment, and they're also in like live shows. So
Yeah.
the ones in the live shows would be like the Class Sevens, and like the specials. And
Yeah.
then my sort of car was a sort of a Class 4, so it's not as heavily modified as that, but it was still for me it was really really cool. So I really
Yeah, I
yeah
bet.
loved it. And then in that period of time, towards my end of time, I was working with towards the end of time of racing and national autograss racing, I started doing like a college degree in motorsport and eventually went on to do university studying motorsport engineering. Started working with solely motorsport
Yeah.
for a couple, 2 or 3, I think 2 years or so. And yeah, sort of fell in love with Formula Fords from there really. And
Ah.
yeah, moved.
That's where that love came from.
Mm.
Because I was going to say is that it must be very different going from the tracks, the cars, the type of racing to suddenly a Formula Ford on the likes of Coombe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I started Formula Fords, it was a very big learning curve, to say the
Yeah.
least. I think the first time I actually went on track in general was actually on my ARDS test as well. So I sort of realized I probably should have done a track day or something, but I just sort of went with it. And it happened to be wet on my ARDS test as well. So I was like, it was just, yeah, just chuck it in, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a bigger sort of learning curve. I think the thing that surprised me is when I did the dirt track racing is how little grip I actually had, but I never really realised. and then coming to sort of more sort of circuit tarmac, even when it's wet, I'm just sort of saying it's all right, to be fair.
So is
Yeah.
that is, I was about to say, that's something that an advantage for your knowledge, your confidence, your bloody mindedness, probably, in the fact that you kind of go, I'm used to not having grip.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like just sliding around today, even like aquaplaning every now and again. I'm like, yeah, this is okay. Like, this
Yeah,
is fine.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's mad. So how long ago was that you stepped into the Formula Ford?
Oh goodness, it must have been. I think it was uh, eight, 8 or 7 years ago. I
Oh,
started Formula
really?
Ford racing. Yeah, so I started off being self-run. Me and my dad, we gave it a honest go. Only had a few arguments every now and again about setup and yeah. But yeah, no, it's been quite a while now. Sort of had other we've been in and out of Castle Combe every now and again. I think last year I think might have actually been our first sort of full season, possibly. I can't remember if we did
Okay.
one earlier in my when I started, but we sort of been dipping out in and out of quite a few different sort of championships. So we've dipped in and out of like the Heritage when that was going. We did a few BRSCC rounds. We like to do the Walter Hayes and
Of
the
course.
Formula Ford festivals. And yeah, and obviously we love Coombe as well. Being the local one to like turn up to and get
Absolutely. Yeah,
stuck
because
into.
you're Burnham-on-Sea, is that right?
Yeah, so I was born in Burnham-on-Sea, and unfortunately, due to work commitments, I've had to relocate. And fortunately, I'm in a nice area, but not in Burnham-on-Sea anymore. But yeah, originally born there, raised there, everything. So I'm a Somerset lad, always at heart. So
Right. The roots are still there.
yeah.
Incidentally, again, I said I'm not one to stir it, but Gemma Jane Street says, and your minions. So you had your minions there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And your dad confirms we've been having fun. And that's the key thing, isn't it? What's the chances then? I'm just sort of thinking, we've been talking about the Dave Allan and we've got sort of like a few dad and lad situations going on sharing the car. What's the likelihood in the future of you and your dad jumping into something that can enter that together?
I think it's an ongoing project at the moment. He has got his arts license, so
Wow.
it's just I think you need to convince him, to be honest, Chris. Like I've been giving it my all for a while, but
We want
yeah,
to see you out there, Tim. We want to see the streets out in the Dave Allan. We love seeing dad and lad setups coming out on those. It's such a great story to go for. And you've got everybody I speak to that does it. It means the world.
mhm. I'd love to do it with him. I think it would be a really good laugh, to be honest. It'd probably get really competitive between us both. But I'm not sure how the like evening meal or evening curry would go.
Yeah,
But
but teamwork together, mate. Share the car. That'll be fine. You share a car in the Dave Allan, it'll be teamwork together. That's
yeah,
what it should
definitely,
be. Uh,
definitely.
oh, another one. Where did it go? Vicky Rachel says, "Come on, Tim.
Yes, that's my girlfriend upstairs at the moment.
We'll wave up to her
Yeah,
up there then."
just get the broom and start knocking on it.
Yeah. And your dad, yep, he's confirmed he's got his license. There
Yeah,
you go, Tim. We got to get you out, mate.
yeah.
Definitely.
He's even
And
got his helmet as well. See,
he's got it all then
yeah,
sorted. Dom confirms he can vouch for you having fun. You guys definitely enjoy yourself and swear by the sounds of it. But there we go. One, Joe Shingler says, one of the Orange stalwarts. I know you are, Joe. Hello, mate. I'll be at Coombe on Monday. Good man. Thank you for that. Oh, and I didn't realise that. Tim says I was good in the Fun Cup car. So he's been in a Fun Cup car.
yeah. So we have done a little trial in a Fun Cup car. I think we've done two goes in it. He must have had fun in the Fun Cup car.
Yeah.
So
They are
yeah,
mad,
that's
aren't they? They are bonkers.
yeah, they're pretty cool pieces of equipment, to be honest. Yeah, we I think that's actually we have shared a car before. Actually, think about that. Actually, yeah. We've both done a joint test day in a Fun Cup car previously, and it was yeah really good, to be honest.
I always find them amazing to commentate on because they are long races, aren't they? Well, like, I don't know, 6 hours, for example.
Mm,
And yet it can multiple times it's suddenly still been down to three cars side by side crossing the line next to each other. It's just ridiculous.
yeah, no, it's an awesome competition, really, and yeah, yeah, I think that's the appeal there, isn't it? Really.
Absolutely.
And even the 25-hour spa race they do in
Yeah, of
Belgium,
course. Yeah.
and the grid size of that, I was just like, oh my
It's
god.
mad, isn't it? It like just
Yeah,
disappears off into the distance, the grid. And I agree with Jed's comment. Fun Cup at Combe would be mega.
yeah.
Absolutely. I would adore that. That would be so good. We are getting other people stirring it up now because Tim Perry, one of Orange Army, says, "Come on, Tim, you can do it, wink." So, yeah, they're trying to get you to drive together. Dom says Tom should chase Sam in the Brabus.
Yeah, my dad's got a little cool smart car sort of Brabus thing. It's yeah. I've had the pleasure of driving it myself for a period of time when my Toyota RAV4 was broken. So yeah, I had that for a while. It's quite interesting being able to fit all the shopping in the back. So
Yes, I
yeah.
can imagine. Not always the fun cars practical. Tim confirms he'll be there in orange as well, and your dad also says he works in IT. Sleep is overrated. I've heard of this sleep thing. So let's take ourselves to. I mean, last year, great job. Ninth overall. Forgive me, I've got paperwork everywhere. Does that mean that you came second in Class B?
Yes, so we came second
I thought
in
so.
class last year, and I think it was quite a big learning curve. Again, even last year, just sort of progressing through from the start of season. Our main target was just to carry on improving with each event, chipping away down at lap times, and also sort of like learning better racecraft as well. And I think towards the sort of end of season, we had a massive sort of learning sort of spree where we did the last round of Coombe, which was awesome for us. And then moving straight into the festival and the Walter Hayes again, we just in that span we did a lot of like learning really driving wise and even car setup, and it was quite surprising I think actually coming back to Coombe at the beginning of this year and sort of just thinking we've still got the same pace as what we had at the end of last year. And yeah, I think we're just getting faster and faster now, so it'd be nice to hopefully at one point keep up with the Class A cars at the more
Uh,
front end of the pack, but we'll see. Maybe later this year we'll catch them.
Well, I mean, it's certainly, forgive me as I'm just rooting around my paperwork to try and get the right bit. It's here somewhere. There we go. So the Formula Ford. So the races. I mean, the race number one, it was seventh overall, but more importantly is that you won Class B
Mm.
and were involved in some amazing fights. Absolutely incredible. Before we go to the good part, you had a problem in race two, didn't you? What was that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I actually had a fueling issue. So basically, we just weren't getting fuel to the engine. So effectively, I was unable to really exit third gear.
Oh
And
wow.
we just had no power, basically. And it started quite early in the race, and it was sort of just about bearable, where on the corners, there was just like a starvation of fuel, and then it progressively got worse and worse. And then it got to the point where actually I was just trying to throttle manage and stop the engine from sort of cutting out pretty much.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I was quite thankful to have finished the race. A bit disappointed that we had the issue, but yeah, quite thankful still got to the end really at the end of the day, because I think this year in particular with the sort of pace we've got, I feel like yeah we want to give the Class B Championship a good run for its money this year, hopefully, and hopefully not let Nathan run away with it too easily.
Absolutely. And I mean, I know he'll love the fact of having a battle. I think both of you are probably gutted that um, there is a sort of bizarrely, seems like a reduction in the Class B cars running, certainly in that opening round.
Mm.
We've got another one in. Sean Macklin's back in Class B this time, so there's three of you running in that. But in reality, that opening round, it was just didn't matter because the fight was amazing. I mean, speak to me about that race number one. It looked like you just were able to pick up battling with anybody.
Yeah, I like to pick a fight. So yeah, no, it was really exciting from my end because, well, I say exciting. pretty nervous at the start when I saw a load of cars up my rear end, and I was just like, oh god. And the slipstream was really, really powerful, I felt, as well. So it's just really difficult to break away. So as soon as I realized that, I was like, I've just got to go a bit more on the defensive, really, after noticing there was a bit of a gap to the next set of cars up ahead. It was just a case of sort of realizing Nathan was behind me. My main battle was with him, and just trying to not defend, but also go quick.
And from memory, that is why, you because basically what happens is that as each of our, so for those of you who don't know, is that there is a Driver of the Day award that is for our local championships and series. And it's really hard. It's us commentators that have to sort of pick that between the three of us. And I guess it makes sense that it's us because we're kind of looking at everything that's going on up and down through the length and breadth of the field. And you try not to make it just automatically every time someone that's won outright. You're looking for people that are doing something, different that stands out. And for us, it was like, I'm sure I recall you overtaking as well. You were defending just incredibly without it being gross defense, if that makes sense. And we were really, really impressed. So we end up shortlisting as we go through each race. And in all honesty, I think you were shortlisted in the second one until you had your problem, which obviously then removed you from that, as you can imagine. But we still felt, come the end of the day, it was a Driver of the Day performance for that. I mean, give me an insight then. Does that mean anything, that Driver of the Day award?
It means a massive amount at the end of it. Sort of like coming away from it. I mean, I felt like race one for me was a really good, strong result, and I came in. We were all really hyped up in the team. My dad was hyped up. My my sort of like, I think my biggest fan, Jeeves, he's a really his family really. He comes to all of my events. He was like really hyped up. I could see him on the pit wall fist pumping. I could see Kev fist pumping. Everyone was just hyped up. It was really good. And then sort of coming towards the end of that presentation and getting announced sort of Driver of the Day, I was sort of like, oh my goodness, it's just like just the energy through the entire day is just mega. And then now I've got that little trophy on my office desk. So it means a lot, and people come over and they're like, oh Sam, well done. I'm like, yeah, it keeps me going for the entire
and it
year,
kind of it backs it up as well, because you were already pumped. You knew that it had been a good day, and it kind of meant that we did know what we were looking at then. I'm glad that we recognized that it was a very pleasing performance for you guys as well. Important issue then, race number 2's problem sorted.
Yeah, so I can confirm we have resolved that issue today. It was a bit interesting with all the water because it caused some other issues for us, but we fixed those as well. So we've had a really good day of reliability solving. So all of that's all sorted, and we're going to go into Monday with a sort of target of obviously repeating what we did in race one, really, and carrying that on. Don't think we can manage a double overtake though this time. So.
Well, you never know. And it's a double header again for you guys, isn't it, on Monday?
Yeah, definitely. So 2 races. So hopefully, we'll have 2 good races opposed to just 1, and carry on with our sort of good progress we're making at the moment.
Just quickly add that Emma Brown, obviously your coordinator, was so happy for you getting Driver of the Day, truly well deserved, and proud to present you the Driver of the Day trophy. So that's good. It meant something to your coordinator as well. Final couple of questions, because then I know that Sean's waiting in the green room. Hi, Sean. I can see you back. He's waving at me. He's waving back at you then as well. Just quick one. Amy Rendell says, yes, Sam, you'll smash it again this Monday.
Yeah, that's my cousin. I tell you, it's all family members, isn't it?
It is. Sean, you got something to keep up, mate. You go and get your family. They got to be watching you as well, mate. You got to keep the numbers up. I didn't actually spot that. Good to see you've got a good glass as well, mate.
I saw, to be honest, I was actually upstairs a minute ago watching the stream from the dinner table, and I was like, oh, you've got a really nice gin glass there. And I thought I was going to drink out of like a little cup, and I was like, nah, you started it now.
That's why I got bought these. I've got this one, and then there was an award one that I got from Combe as well. And it just means I had to do somewhere if on the longer shows where Tom Davis, you'll remember it was the Davis and Dawes show at the start for those who've watched it throughout, and he bought me these metal straws that go in it just because it slowed down the drinking, because the problem is it goes down a bit too quick and easy with this big glass, doesn't it?
I don't think that's a problem though.
Yeah, okay. Louise says, looking forward to Monday. Unfortunately missed Howard's Day. I was gutted. Well, good to see that you're going to be back on Monday, Louise. That's brilliant. Speak to us. Final couple of questions then is, what is your goals this season?
Oh. I'd like to think that goal-wise, it's quite easy to say, oh, you want to go better and faster, and I'd love to take the fight to Nathan this year for Class B. That's probably the main target for this year. Sort of like moving away from, say, later in the season when we do the festival and Walter Hayes. Like, yeah, we're going to look to contend very strongly in those events as well, basically, and hopefully just whatever we race in basically is just compete at the front of the pack where we can. So yeah, just take it to them. Yeah.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Well, then, for the very last question, then, remind me, sorry, Sam, how old are you?
I am 27. I had to think about that one a little bit. Yeah, 27 at the moment.
I know that feeling. I've forgotten how old I am. But what are the, say, next year and longer term goals?
It's really hard to. It's all budget dependent, really, with sort of future targets. If we had the budget, we'd do a lot, basically. I'd do everything I could. There's even like realistically, there's like the Formula Ford European sort of rounds. At one point, we were just like dreaming about doing that. Would love to even say whatever we could afford to do. Really, it's all just really tight. Even this year, we've got old tires from last year on the car at the moment, so yeah, we're sort of very limited on budget. But yeah, we're just do what we can really with that. And at minimum, we'll just carry on doing what we're doing now, and we'll just keep pushing really and see what we can get.
Like it. That sounds good to me. The important thing is we've got you at Combe for this year. We got to see you enjoying your target. By the way, Emma's stirring now. She says, "You sure about that?" And she means that you're 27.
I know,
no,
my hairline's it's not right.
There's nothing wrong with that, mate. There's nothing.
Yeah,
Mine's been like this for as long as I remember. So.
It's a choice, right?
Absolutely. I call it a solar panel for a love machine. That's what it is.
It's actually aerodynamic as well. So
of course, absolutely. That's the one. Listen, Sam, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I do appreciate it. It's a great opportunity to give a face to a name and a personality to the driver. Well done on Howard's Day. More of the same on Monday. Keep it going, and hopefully we'll be catching up with you on the microphone plenty of times at Circuit as well.
Yeah, please do. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Chris.
No,
there he is. That's Jeeves. There we go.
That's Jeeves,
my biggest fan. Like, he's got his his name's on the car and everything. So
wonderful. Yeah. That is really, really cool. Listen, and Dom even says, "I got your back, Sam. Don't worry." So he's giving Emma a thick ear for winding up about your age. That's fine. Sam, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good luck on Monday, and we'll see you there.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Chris. See you there, mate.
Take it steady, my friend. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
So that was great to catch up with Sam. We're now going to bring in our second guest, and it's a man from the hot hatches that I absolutely adore this car, as does he, I know, because he does it as just to be as bonkers as possible. I think that sums it up as well as anything, and it really is an absolute weapon. Let's bring on Sean Gover. Let me switch that round. You can have the limelight, mate. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, my friend. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
I mean, literally, I think I summed that up well. I mean, it is, you do it just because you know that a Citroen AX is not what we expect to see out there racing.
No, it's not. And after having the 106, I obviously had a small accident before I had the AX, so that was one of the reasons that I probably changed to the AX. I talked to Will about it while I was racing, and then we just decided, it's a little bit lighter, but it's exactly the same sort of floor pan. Everything fits on it, so expense-wise, apart from buying the shell, it wasn't too costly. So that was the reason we went down there, and it's just something different. I don't think many people race the AX, so
No.
it does turn heads. So yeah, I'm well pleased with it.
No, I mean it is. It's just wonderful to watch, and I knew that story that it was like a Trigger's broom type thing, isn't it? That you've picked up the old car and put it in the
Yeah,
AX.
yeah, and it's all down to budget at the end of the day.
Of
I
course it
probably
is.
couldn't have afforded to do maybe another 106. It was reasonably cheap when I bought the AX. So yeah, that was the main reason for doing it, and maybe just obviously it's lighter, so maybe we were looking for more time as well.
Now I understand that, and let me just bring in the comments. Our own Emma says, "Yay, Sean the Builder." They
Not
call you
far.
that now because you've been involved in the new Castle Combe shop, haven't you?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I got asked to go along price with me and my business partner to price for it, and obviously we got the job, and then we started fitting it out and helping Piero and everything. Yeah, it was a good experience there. I really enjoyed it, and as I say, like meeting Les, does all the groundworks and everything around, and other team members. It's really nice to get to know everybody that works there. So it's a good family, I think, a good knit family.
No, it really is, and well done on the job, mate. The shop looks absolutely incredible. If anybody
Thank
hasn't
you.
been there yet, go and check out the shop. It is just an awesome space with some wonderful stuff available in there now as well. Carl Olden says, "Go Vud, go Vud." He's cheering you on, mate. I put a positive tone on that. I'm assuming that's what
Yeah,
he's.
yeah. I'm just waiting for Deacon. I'm waiting for Sean Deacon to say something because I know he's gonna be on there soon. So
He
yeah,
did already say at the beginning. He says, "I'm waiting to hear what he says."
yeah. Nothing nice about him.
No, no. Wow, there you go. It's absolutely. Your coordinator says an amazing car and a brilliant driver. It is, and I did quite enjoy the banter that you and I had for a little while, whilst you were getting upset that I was caught saying "was racing" too much.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, it was just a running joke through the team and everything that Will was, just driving the car, and I was sat in the
Absolutely.
pits, doing nothing. So yeah, it got to the point where right, I had to have a word with you and said, Chris, I'm driving the car, don't you? Yeah,
But you see, we had to go through that phase
yeah,
where
yeah, exactly.
Will was the name, and now you are.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one remembers Will anymore, so it's fine.
No,
It's gone the
exactly.
other
Who?
way.
Right, who?
Exactly. You had to
No,
earn the stripes, mate, and you've done it. And
yeah,
it was funny though. It was quite a funny
yeah.
line.
No, and the team that he sort of built, Will, he's an amazing driver. I mean, he hasn't been racing for quite a while now, but
Mm.
back in the day, he's been there, done it. And his experience with cars like the 106 and my car is just second to none. And what feed he gives me, I can tell him what's wrong with the car or what I need from the car, and then we can sort it and work it out. And then, then I have more confidence in the car. And I think that's what a lot of it with the car is, having the confidence to what it can do. I mean, there's still more in the car, but it's just me now. So yeah,
Wow, I
that's
mean that's impressive to hear. Then is that's a good team, is it? Because
yeah,
and
massively.
it can't be underestimated. Is that and I'm sure Will would say confirm this as well. Is that for you to have the ability to give that feedback? That's not, you can't take that for granted. How difficult that is to give that feedback in enough
No, but
detail.
it's just what you feel through the seat and through the steering and the grip and no grip or vice versa. So it's just like obviously the car's talking to you all the time,
Mm.
and you just want to get the best out of it. And I'm always striving, playing a lot of sport through my life, like rugby. I've always wanted to strive to do better. So I understand how it works, like the sports side of it. So if you can get speak to someone about it and tell them what you're feeling, who knows about it and can better it, I think that helps a lot.
Of course it does. I mean that makes a lot of sense. Unsurprisingly, that's why Jed said the AX is a bonkers little car, exceptionally impressive head turner. It really is.
Yeah,
And Lucy,
my wife.
your wife, built his first car at 16 years old.
It wasn't actually a car; it was a go-kart.
Oh.
So it wasn't actually a car, but I built the car because at school you're supposed to design something and then produce it, whereas I produced it and then designed it after. So I built a go-kart, not your standard go-kart. It was like a space frame with a Honda C, I think 70C clunk engine. Tires off a lawnmower, a rack and pinion off a Mini.
Wow.
Those sort of things. And yeah, I had great fun doing that then.
That's mad. That's one of those things that I'd always love to be able to do, but go, no, I wouldn't have a clue.
It didn't have any brakes. I never got round to putting any brakes on it.
Actually, you drive that way round Combe, sod the brakes, don't you, thinking about it? Yeah. I mean, did you already know, or was that where you were learning that?
No, not back then. I mean, obviously when I left school and started driving, me and my friend always used to be a bit crazy, as you do back then when you were younger, and I never really thought about going into motor racing. It was more rugby and football and that sort of thing, and then I've left it really late to start motor racing. I mean, I've only been doing this 6 years now, so I left it really late, but I wish I started earlier, but it's just one of those things that, I've picked up later on in life, midlife crisis, I think.
How old were you when you started?
How old was I? 40, what am I now? I'm 50 this year. Oh my God. 44. Yeah.
Now I'm upset that you're showing off with your full head of hair at that age.
It is receding slightly. I've had to comb it forward. So yeah.
Mate, that's not receding, I can assure you. That's receding, mate. All right. Stop rubbing it in. I mean, the reason why I wanted people to know that it's like seeing that is like, don't think you're too late to start racing.
No,
it's like,
no, not
do
at all.
it.
No, I mean, we started on me and my long-term friend from school and business partner. Now we thought let's get a track car, have a bit of fun, let's keep it low. Started off with a Ford ST170, just did things to that, and then just got the bug really, and I carried on with it, whereas he didn't. And then sort of built my own car, not very successful. Had a few breakages, and then I think the gearbox went, and then that's where I met Will. So I heard that he was good with gearboxes. So that was I think it was 2018, 19 maybe, and that's when it started really. And then we sort of hit it off ever since. Now I can't get rid of him. So.
No, absolutely. I mean, he does love his French cars in particular. Doesn't
he?
Although he's got a Honda with Claire Pensome this year as well.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. She had quite a good day out. I think she had a few spins, but I think we've all had that, and I think she had absolutely a whale of a time driving. Absolutely loved it.
And it was amazing to go from just some track days to racing.
Yeah, and it is scary that first time you get on the grid and you don't know what to expect. You got all these cars around you, and then all of a sudden the lights go out, and that's it. You're racing, and it is the scariest thing. But once you get into it, the adrenaline takes over, and then you're away, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you learn each time you go out, you must learn a little bit.
Oh,
more,
definitely, yeah.
Well, we got first of all, Mike Cotton says, bummer. I'm sure that's what he means. Missed it. Family dinner. See you Monday. That's fine, Mike. You'll be up there. I know you will. Justin Holloway says, I started at 57, so plenty of time for you yet.
Yeah.
So that's good to see.
Yeah.
There you go. Sean Deacon says, top man, Sean, a great driver.
Oh,
you weren't expecting that, were you?
I thought, no, it wasn't actually. No.
In all honesty, neither was I.
No. It's such a good group we've got as well. We've got Sean, we've got Tim that's joined us this year, and then as you say, Claire, and the camaraderie between us. I think it's amazing. Everybody keeps everybody going, and then we've got Damien and Darren, everybody behind the scenes that help out. So it is a really good group, and it's really really nice to do.
And I've got to emphasise to anybody who's out there that may either has done or does some track days or maybe is thinking about doing it, and then sort of with the future potential to go racing, get down into the paddock and meet these guys. You find them there, chat with them, see the spirit they're in, just speak to them. You guys are always happy to have chats with people, but to see that camaraderie you refer to, that is an important part of the race day.
Yeah. Definitely. I think it keeps everybody happy, and everybody has their down days when things don't go right, and that everybody's there to pick everybody back up. And that's part of racing. You're gonna have the good days and bad days. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, for example, last year didn't really go to plan for you, did it?
No, no, and that was the first year really learning the car and just everything got swapped over and it was just fine tuning everything. And then touch wood this year, the car it's just been running. It's a joy to drive. It's nice to drive. It's predictable, as in I know it's predictable how I drive it. It's just down to just fine tuning now. It's tense now, and yeah, so it's down to me more than the car.
I mean, that is just, and it's amazing to watch. One of our Orange Army says real life gets in the way, i.e., going racing, but have great fun out there.
Yeah.
Will himself is watching. Ruben says hi, Shawnee.
My biggest fan, Rue.
Absolutely.
Little boy.
Our very own Emma, of course, says Claire is a legend. She's in the right team to go well. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Toby says, "Go, Dad." Is that the IT daughter?
Yes. No, that's the youngest daughter. IT. Well, they're both into IT, but one's sort of like above the other one, if you know what I mean.
And set you up tonight to work. Yeah, they made sure that I knew that.
But she does the social media. She does take all the photographs at Combe, and then I think Kat's asked her if any videos and that, send them in. So she does a bit of that, and she helps out.
Wicked.
So she loves coming to race day. Absolutely loves it.
Oh no!
It's the only time I can get her up before 7 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
Which says a lot, though. That is still a good sign. Another one of our own, Tony Cooper. I've loved backing with Sean over the years, and we'll be back to challenge him in June. Glad to hear it. Awesome driver.
He's a good guy, Tony.
Who you can trust, and that's got to be an important thing out there.
Yeah, it is. I don't, because it is a low key. I think it's just having respect for who's out there. Not being silly. It is a dangerous sport. I know I've had a crash in one of my cars, and it does hurt when you crash. So I think if you respect each other, and you'll have good races.
Well, looking at you talk about good races. Oh, crikey, nearly knocked me gin over. Don't do that. Both races, I mean, just pure domination, wasn't it?
Yeah, only because Chris. I mean, I was looking forward to a good battle, Chris. I think he's not in my class, but I think we would have to and fro. I think he probably would have come out, but I think he was the first race. He was behind me, and I could just sense that he was just sussing me out a little bit. And obviously, then he had a DNF.
Yeah.
So then it was a little bit on my own out front. Qualifying was interesting though in the wet. I quite enjoyed the qualifying in the wet, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did like that. It's probably a bit more sketchy than in the dry, because obviously it's a light car, so the back end's quite light, so it's a little bit steppy on the back. But
yeah, I bet. Yeah, because it was proper wet, wasn't it?
Yeah. The windscreen started misting up as well. So then, a lot of people had that problem, but we got over it. But
that's not what you want. You kind of need to see where you're going.
No, exactly.
Ironically, both races, the margin was almost identical from first and second. 13.374 in race 1, 13.330 in race 2. You couldn't do that if you tried, mate.
Yeah.
That's quite incredible.
Race, I think it's the worst start I've ever had in anything.
That's right.
I was level pegging with Chris, first and second gear. Then I went for third. Missed it, couldn't find it, went again, third, no, I tried fourth, no, couldn't find fourth, back to third, hit fifth. And I was just like, I could see Chris disappearing and everybody else behind me getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm thinking, I've got to find one gear, please, just find the gear. So I managed to get fourth and managed to hold it into quarry and then sort of pick myself back up. But it's the worst start I think I've ever had.
That's right. I do remember that. Must have been terrifying, though.
It was, because I thought, am I going to pull over? Have I lost a gear? Have I lost something? And it was just me.
But to see those cars getting that close,
it was scary.
So frustrating, but a relief that it was just.
Yeah, no, I drove a little bit angry then because that was my fault. So I started reeling Chris in a little bit, but I knew he potentially had more problems, with his drive shaft. So and then obviously eventually pulled over. So it was a shame really, because it was a bit lonely out front. I do like racing, from the back. I like coming forward, racing with everybody and just getting stuck in,
We love that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, in fairness, you got the fastest lap in the class.
Yeah.
1:15.321. Chris, different class, but his fastest lap was a 1:13.350. So you were still quicker than his fastest lap.
Yeah. Is that 13? Sorry. 15.
Not much in it, admittedly,
No.
but you were.
Yeah,
In
no.
essence, is that it was like incredibly close, and that's what we were robbed of that race, really, weren't
Yeah,
we?
I think so. But I don't know if he's out next time, Monday. With his name down.
Uh, Let me flick through to the hot hatches. No, he's not. He's not out for this one. Has he not got his Peugeot anymore then? Has he only got the Honda?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a misprint. Maybe. I talked to him. I don't think he has, because he's got a new shell, I think, that he's trying to work on. I think that's where they've had the problem, where they couldn't get the new shell ready, and then they reverted back to the old one, and then things didn't fit right, if that makes sense. So the way he was explaining it to me.
I know that he's had that Honda because I've commentated on him in the classic touring car racing club stuff as well. But you know, him and Gary Preble used to have those Peugeots, didn't they? The little
That's right, yeah. And they were quick back then, weren't they? They were quick car.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, he's not out there. But we still got, for anybody watching, we still got an incredibly healthy grid for the hot hatches. Thomas Owen, John McMillan, Julia Fisher, Jordan Herman, Robert Watson, George Kimber, Claire Penson, Michael Bland, Tim Fuchs-Bale, Daniel Rowe, Richard Kemp, Jonathan Fish, Kai Barker, Mike Wyatt, Sean Govard, Jeffrey Ryle. Jeffrey Ryle had a good race too.
I'm waiting for him to get, obviously it's a new car to him. I know
that's Slady's old car, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And I think he's just fine-tuning it now. And I think it won't be long before he's with me. And I think, because back in the day, him and Will, I think, had a few good battles, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to that, for him to work his way up.
Yeah, that's what I
said. He will be there. He will be there at some point. He'll be there.
I agree, because I mean that was a good car as well. Craig Smith has got the Team Dynamics Motorsport Honda Integra DC2 out that he'll be racing with Matt Neal in the Dave Allan Trophy.
Right, yeah.
Jake Olden, Sean Deacon, obviously, Joe Hathaway, and Scott Hughes. And as is rightly said, Castle Combe Racing Club have said, still time to enter. So if there's anybody out there sitting on the fence, get it sorted. Mike Bland says, love the AX, great car, great driver. Will, the boss, has just said, where's your WAS racing hat?
I knew he was going to say that.
Andrew Oldfield says, is the bar going to open Monday?
That's the guy who works with me.
Is it? Well, then the answer is no to you.
No.
You're working, so you can't, even if it is. So there we go. Yes, so great promise with the fact of the likes of Jeffrey Ryle and everything. And we know that the Hot Hatches is a series rather than a championship, but we still sort of have this most winningest at the end. And you've all, historically, other than the bad luck you had last year, you've sort of featured there or thereabouts. Is your target to try and...
my main target, I think, this year, which I would love to do, is beat Will's lap record, but I think it's just a little bit too far. I think unless I had one of those days where everything just clicked and I lost my brain or something, maybe, but I don't know.
Well, would the boss
mind it's there, but it's not critical that I've got to do it, but.
Surely, if he's working on the car, he's always able to make sure that you don't quite.
Just
again, I'm not one to stir her out, but
no, they're all sort of like rooting for everybody to finish, as best they can, the whole gang. So,
I love it. So, quickly going back to you, Sean. So, because as I've said before, is that as well as talking about the race and previewing you going this weekend. Is this a great opportunity for those watching to sort of put a face to the name and a personality to the driver? What do? We know that you're a builder. Is that not doing you justice saying that? Sorry.
Well, we do foundation to finish. Our motto is, so we can do foundations, drainage. We build houses, extensions, loft conversions. So we do it all.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we're actually in a static caravan at the moment. We're in the garden, so I'm doing my own house. Which is completely ripped apart. So we got an extension on the back, extension on the side. The main house is being renovated, which I do in evenings and weekends. So if I'm, the only break I get is probably racing from all of that. So yeah.
And was that where the bringing it back to behind the wheel, or where did that love come from? Was it purely that it was a break from something, or is there like a family passion for racing?
No, I mean, if you speak to my dad, I believe he met you in the commentary box last race, I think. So yes, I'm sorry about that if you met my dad. But he'll say that he taught me everything. And that's a lot.
Oh, okay.
No, it was well, believe it or not, when going back many years, well, when I was 15, she used to let me drive because we used to live out in the country. My mum used to let me drive the car to the, sort of like the edges of the lanes.
Oh, okay.
This is going back obviously a few years when it was a bit more, you know. And I would turn up sometimes to parties, driving the car, and then I'd get out and I'd sort of like, see you later, mum, thanks. And everybody's like, can you just get out of the car? You know? So yeah, I mean, dad would say that he taught me everything, but I think I'm quite a quick learner on things. You know, if I see something, I can sort of pick it out quite quickly. So yeah, I'm sort of like self-taught, I suppose. It's just I've just got this mentality, a sports mentality, I suppose, that I want to do the best that I can. You know, I just have that drive to be the best of what I can do.
Take us to that sport then. So rugby and football.
Yeah, not so much fun. I mean, football. Yeah, I played sort of like Southwest, but I with football, it wasn't really my thing. The team, it was like football. You seem to be on your own, whereas then rugby came along when I suppose about 11, 12, and it was more of a team, more of a great camaraderie, and then it just went from then. You know, I played for Bath, played Southwest trials. You know, nearly made England, not quite. So yeah, and it's just that sort of like not winning mentality, it's just the sport mentality of where you're trying to achieve the best that you can.
Yeah.
I think that's what drives me, especially this, you know, in the cars. I think if I've done the best that I can, then I'm happy with that.
Well, I mean, based on that, because I love that fact, and I didn't really know that about you on the rugby, that it was to that level, etc. So with the racing, what are the longer term goals, or is that only in the enjoy it bucket?
It's at the moment to enjoy it, because obviously, I mean, I would like to go further and you know do further afield race tracks in faster cars, but just push yourself to another limit, because I think the Hot Hatch is a great series, but it's affordable.
Yeah.
It's all down to budget and money, and I think in this, it is a very expensive sport, but you can start off in the Hot Hatch and then just work your way up, I suppose. It is relatively cheap to start racing if you want to get out there and do it. But the long goal would be, race abroad somewhere nice, and a nice, that's. But I'd have to win the lottery for that. So that's not going to happen. So.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Joe Hathaway says, great respect out on track with Sean, great racer. That's a lovely comment.
Yeah.
Stuart Tinker Taylor, one of the Camp Softcore, as he calls himself. Quick question: will the Hot Hatch Challenge ever become a championship? It's not out of the question. What's your take on that, Sean?
It'd be nice, I think. Everybody's talked about it. I think we talked about it a couple of years ago. Whether it will become a championship, and they said not at the moment. I think it would, people have a bit more to sort of like have a goal towards. A lot of people say, well, I want to do the do the saloons because it is a championship. But, the numbers went down. They're coming back up again, I think, in the saloons. So, we talked about, me and Deacon said, what do you want to do next year? Would you like to do the saloons? I said, yeah, I would. I'd have to make a few small changes to my car because it wouldn't comply with some of the saloon regulations. But yeah, it's I think I would like it to come a championship. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for me, sitting on the fence, because obviously I have the privilege of commentating here, there, and everywhere. Like this weekend is busy. I've Saturday, Sunday, Brands Hatch, and then Monday at Combe, and so on and so forth. And I get to cover championships and series the length and breadth of the country.
Yeah.
And to put the argument for the series compared to a championship is that it means you're not committing, you're not having to go to every single. I know the irony is that the majority of you actually do it, but you don't have to go for every single round and scoring the points and the drops and the challenge, and it kind of adds another level of
pressure.
Seriousness and pressure.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, because if you do miss one round, you could think, well, that's the championship sort of over with. We're just missing one round for, say family commitments where you're going away, where you want to be racing, but you can't. Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that. So yeah.
The reason why it hasn't sort of like gone, oh well, let's do it now. I know in the early days it was like we had to prove to Motorsport UK that it was going to get enough numbers and things like that. But then it was like, well, actually, there are a good chunk of people that are still in it because it's a series, not a championship, and what have you. And there's a double-edged sword to it.
Exactly.
I mean, the interesting one is one of the ones that I cover is MSVT, Motorsport Vision Track Day. Excuse me, Trophy and Championship. Now that's a great example where they had the track days that you go and do all the track days, and then they kind of went, I want to go and race, which is kind of what we tried to create with the hot hatches, is that you could now go and race. And the track day trophy is always full. It's just massive grids. And then suddenly people went, well, actually, I'd quite like to go for a championship now. And they created the MSVT Track Day Championship that is also always full, some doing both.
Really?
Because what they'll do quite often is over a 2-day meeting is that they'll have the trophy on the Saturday and the championship on the Sunday, or vice versa, and they'll sort of race in both of them, which is interesting. So
cool. Yeah,
it's why it's not an easy answer.
No, it's not. It's not. No, definitely not.
It is quite cool.
One I don't want to make.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's
I'm quite happy. Yeah, exactly. I'm quite happy. I mean,
for the board,
exactly. And the girls like Shirl and Kat and Tina do an amazing job on the day. And I normally see them sort of like the week building up to it, and they're always stressed in the office, and they want to be able to watch some of the racing as well. But obviously they're so busy organising everything and making sure everybody's happy, and they do an amazing job. They really do.
No, and they'll appreciate that. Interesting comment from Goose up at Quarry. Do you think that costs would rise to be more competitive if it became a championship?
It probably would. It probably would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'll throw even
people
more.
There's something more to sort of like go towards. And then you try and spend more money to get there, don't you? So
exactly, yeah, and it gets a bit out of control. James Keeping, who of course is in the Saloon Championship, says spot on explanation there, Chris. But Darren Duffield says championship, please, and that's the thing is
he won it last year.
Of course, absolutely,
and not non-championship. Yeah.
But, the key point being is that's kind of proves it. There is that there's the arguments for, the arguments against. Therefore, it would never be the right decision because you're going to upset someone. But watch this space. Who knows? At the end of the day, one thing that's great is it's super exciting stuff, and it's a single header for you this weekend, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that better or worse?
It's a difficult one. I suppose it gives you the double header gives you a chance to like the first race say, right, well, I can do this, make changes for the second race, whereas a single header you've only got that one opportunity to race. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's difficult. I think a lot of people do like the double headers. But it's a lot to do then, because if you do get anything go wrong, then you've got to get ready for the next race. So, as you say, it's a double-edged sword on things like that. So
yeah, you could end up missing 2 races instead of just one.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So with regards to, I know I only whipped through the entry list there, and I'm sure it will be up online for everybody to see. I'm guessing probably tomorrow. I know that Kat has been ridiculously busy trying to get everything sorted, but with the sort of names that I read out there, I mean, what are your thoughts with regards to Monday? Do you feel confident again?
Yeah, it's just as long as I can get the start right.
Yeah.
Is Nick Gwinnett name not down there? I thought he was Nick Gwinnett. No. His rumours that he wanted to.
Is he?
Yeah, and he'll be quick. We always have a good battle, me and Nick. So he's in the 14. So if he turns up, it could be interesting.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, because it does get a bit lonely at the front. It's not, and what you tend to do at the front is not switch off, but you just tend to sort of try and relax more, and then that's when you start making mistakes and think, well, I don't have to go as fast because you're not being chased by anyone, and that's when you start making mistakes. Whereas if you just carried on racing as flat out as fast as you can, doing the same thing, that's when I think your times start to sort of like come down because you're trying. But yeah. That's what I think anyway.
we always say that in the commentary is the fact that you could sort of just see someone that's now pulling away and you go, oh, it's easy. It's like, no, it's a whole new
No,
set of challenges.
it's really weird because then you're listening out for things as well in the car, and
Yeah.
you think, yeah, I didn't hear that before on the last lap. So,
Yeah. You create noises. That's
it
the
is.
problem.
It's really weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, Stuart Tinker Taylor, watching from camp every time, he says no matter what, the hot hatches is great to watch. And,
Yeah.
you know, and on that front, therefore, you guys must love, because I know you're racing for you, but you guys do love the show as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I think it's a good, even in the paddock, not just with our team, but Carl, Alan, and Jake, and everybody else. We have a chat and have a laugh, and and it's amazing. It's a great atmosphere. It really is.
Yeah, because I think we all felt that, realised that a lot more when the pandemic came about in 2020, didn't we?
Yeah,
And even when we started racing, it was to a reduced level, and you kind of suddenly go, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of missing everyone
yeah,
somewhat."
yeah. I think a few people dropped out, didn't they? Because they didn't have that. In the pits, it wasn't the same, and
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Yeah,
it's
another no-win situation there, that one,
exactly, yeah,
wasn't it? But
definitely.
yeah, no, I mean, hence Combe TV was born, is that we sort of
Yeah,
missed each other, and which is a lovely testimony to the extended family that we all are, really.
and it is.
So
It's one big family. Yeah, it is. It is
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Well, listen, Sean, thank you so much for coming on.
That's right, no problem.
I told you there was nothing to be nervous about. I don't bite. It is great to enable everybody else to sort of get to know you. I know I'm lucky that I kind of wander around and catch up with you
Yeah.
guys whenever I get the chance, but a lot of other people don't get that luxury. Although, do go and see these guys in the
Yeah,
paddock.
we're happy to chat to everyone, so it's not a problem.
Absolutely, it's there. You can get in, you can see everybody. Even if it's not that you're thinking of racing, you just want to ask questions, find out
Yeah.
more, get to know them. Do it. They don't bite unless they've
No,
had
we
a bad
don't.
race. If they've had a bad race, stay away. But
Yeah, just walk away.
yeah, you're not down to do the Dave Allan though, are you?
No, no. I mean, the car's done quite a lot. I think at the end of the season it'll be up for a refresh. I think because it's done. This is going to be its third season. I think the engine. Plus, it's done a few charity and track days, things like that. And I think I've got a few more booked in for this year. So it's going to be doing quite a lot this year. So yeah, I want to say I want to do it, but I don't. It's sort of like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know.
no, I get you. I
Difficult
get
one.
you. I understand that. It'll
I
be good.
mean, it might still be open. I was chatting to Kat today that if you did just decide on the day, we still might be able to enter. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
it's a special event, so yeah, they
Yeah,
tend to sort
exactly.
of bend the rules somewhat
Yeah.
for that one. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
No worries.
Best of luck on Monday.
Thank you.
Pedal that AX quick,
I'll try.
and we'll see you we'll probably even get an interview if it goes well. So
Yeah, no worries.
thank you for your time,
Thanks,
buddy. I
guys.
appreciate it. You
Nice to
take
talk
it
to you.
steady.
Cheers,
take it
mate.
steady.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
buddy. Bye.
Bye.
So thank you very much to both of our guests this evening, and I hope you've all found that interesting and useful. It's great. I always think it's lovely that because we don't really get to find out about them very much, do we? And it's just wonderful, not just previewing the race meet, but catching up with a few people. And thank you so much for all your comments coming in. Lisa, of course, that's the better half of the Tinker Taylor side, that one. Sorry, Stuart, but, fair's fair. You've got to say that as well, mate. Lisa says, hi, Mr. Dawes. Have a great meeting Monday. Make sure you have plenty of gin on Sunday to help the throat. The problem is I won't get back home until late Sunday night from 2 days on the mic at Brands Hatch. So I might have to have a sneaky one. You're right, just to sort of wet the whistle again. But I shall probably just have some food and pass out before getting back to the circuit early on Monday. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. What haven't I previewed then so far? So we've done the hot hatch, the Formula Fords, the Dave Allan. We've looked at the two visiting one. That means that we need to have a look at the saloons and the GTs. Darn it, I've got my paperwork everywhere. Double victory last time round, of course, for the championship winning Porsche from last season. But this time there's a new, I don't know if people realize this, but there's a new thing with the GTs that we're able to do it, that you can share a car, and you both get the points in that championship, which is really good. So we had father and son in that one as well, with Kevin Bird raced the first race in that number 1 Porsche, and then his son Charles Hyde Andrews Bird, Chab, he raced the second one, and they both won brilliant jobs and did a great job. Race 1, sorry, was interesting because we had Keith Butcher out in his new Lamborghini Huracan Evo GT3. How good did that thing look in black? Such a car. And he was actually in our shortlist for driver of the day as well, because for those of you that are there, you must have noticed it, that you could see as that race went on, he kind of got more to grips with that car, didn't he? He got quicker and quicker, and he was working his way through the field, and you could see him just getting stronger and stronger. Sadly, and I don't know the reason why, actually, I'd hoped to get him on tonight, but he wasn't available this time. Hopefully we'll get him on a future show. Is that he wasn't out in race number 2. Is he on the entry list? Let me just have a look. I'm pretty sure I saw that he was. Yes, he is. Keith Butcher's out there in his Class C Lamborghini again. And of course, it is Class C to compete with the Porsche. And I'll be really interested to see how he gets on with that one. In terms of the entries, we got Dylan Popovich. I've already said he was getting really strong in that Ginetta as well. Chris Everall, we got out in his Ginetta. Tim Davies out in his Caterham 7. Alan Hamilton still looking mighty quick in his Flirtations Flowers Westfield Race Aero. I took the mickey out of him when we were at the media day because he actually managed to snap off his gear stick. He was racing that hard. Kevin Bird, and I'm assuming, and again, I think I've done a bad job with the printing out here. I'm pretty sure that Charlie's with him as well. Jordan Billington in his Lamborghini, Keith Butcher, Doug Watson in his new Ferrari 488 Challenge car as well. That looked beautiful as well, didn't it? So he's back out in that Ferrari, and he'll get quicker and quicker. Great to see that Jamie Sturgis is back out as well in the Golf TCR. So he's making a repeat, racing this year in that. He's quite often dips in and out, but maybe we'll get a concerted effort from him, which will be absolutely wicked if that's the case. So Jamie Sturgeon in the Golf TCR, Mark Sear in his E46 M3, Stephen Cohen in his Lotus Elise, Steve Kite in his Mazda MX-5 Super Cup car. That'll be cool. And Matthew Stockford in an Audi RS3 LMS. That's the Team Dynamics car that he's sharing with Alan James. I think that's those two are racing together. But Matthew Stockford's going to be out in Class E in that one for him. Just quickly catching up. Matt Core says, big shout out to Cat and Shell, the people that make things happen. Got called to a Cobra meeting today where chocolate was sorted. Oh, yeah, and that's important, that one, isn't it, mate? The people like their chocolate bars. Dave Weston says the Castle Combe Racing Club Mighty Minis Racing will be having their first round at Silverstone this weekend as well. Best of luck to those guys at Silverstone. Sadly, for reasons I'm not sure of, we're only getting them once at the end of the year at Castle Combe. They're off elsewhere racing for the rest of the year. So best of luck to the Mighty Minis. Obviously, that's the Mighty Minis and the Super Mighty Minis. Have a great racing and stay safe. In terms of the Saloon Car Championship, we have another. Actually, this does look like this is crept up quite nicely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 cars on the Saloons grid. That's wicked. Daniel Williams in his Bora, Dave Spiller in the Audi TT, Tony Dolly out in his Seat Leon, Jack Bolton in the Golf, Nigel Marsh in his BMW Mini Cooper S, Rob Ellick in his TT. That I'm still cannot wait to see this evolve. Rob Ellick got 2 fastest laps in that car, but over both races, and I think we're going to see him and Adam having some great battles this year. Obviously, Adam Preble is back out, the defending champion. John McMillan in his Renault Megane, Peter Elliston in the Golf GTI. Then on to Class B, we've got Corey Webber in the Clio, Mark Wyatt in the Vauxhall Astra, who is officially leading the championship at the moment. And how cool would that be? It's still that famous car, the yellow Vauxhall Astra, and Mark Wyatt has been around for a long time. He's an institution for me in the saloon car racing, so that is great to see that he's going well. Graham Cox in the Wayne Paul Racing Run Renault Clio. Then you got Cupo, we saw him earlier, champion from 2 years ago. It was 2 years, and he's determined to get that number one back again. Miles Valentin run MGZR, or backed MGZR. Jez Williams in the 106 GTI. Ben Hindle in his Vauxhall Corsa. Hopefully you'll be out, mate, because you had a problem last time, didn't you? Stuart Hignall in his Saxo. Stuart Hignall went absolutely amazing. I think it was race 1 in particular. Absolutely brilliant last time. John Lannon, good to see that John will be back out again. His dad, Tony Lannon, as well. So both of them out there in the Citroen Saxos. John, Rock Valley Automotive run car. James Blake, he went blooming well last time. He featured high up for us as well in his MGZR. Lee Waterman in his MGZR, and Mike Good out in his Vauxhall Corsa. And I know that Mike's hoping to go for the championship. The fly in the ointment for him is the number of Class D cars. We don't seem to have Anthony Weeks out this time, which is a shame. Great to see a comment coming in from Owen Hillman. Solid grids. It is, mate. I know you're off having a wonderful time with the Civic Cup, and best of luck with all of that. It's so good to see that whole team going there. And I think you're running at least one in the TCR now. Am I remembering right? But Owen, don't forget, come back and race here as well, mate. We want to see you back here racing. So that's a cracking grid as well. Across the board, great numbers. Great action. The qualifying gets underway at 8:30 in the morning with the BCV8 starting off, the saloons, the Bentley Challenge, the hot hatches, the GTs, the Formula Fords, and the Dave Allan. Oh, they think I'm missing some entries in the saloons. Let me just check to see if I've printed out badly. Oh, I am. Sorry. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know why I've missed out. Sorry. Let me keep going because we do have a lot in Class D. Thank you for picking that one out on me. I must have pressed print a selection or something, and I must have had some selected. Class D, we have Roger Good, Tim Swift in his 106. Anthony Weeks is out in the Grant Motorsport Run Saxo. And Nick Mizzen, oh, great to see Nick Mizzen's back out in Class D in the Ford Fiesta. I love it when Nick's back out racing. I did see him wandering around last time and put his thumbs up when I was at the commentary box. I was over in Old Paddock that time. I'm over in the main box this time. So that is good news for Mike Good because he's able to score a few more points. With it just being the two of them, he was limited in terms of he didn't get the full 10 points for the victories. So he'll be hoping that keeps those points turning over as well. So even more. So whatever number I said for the saloons, add another 4 on as it stands. So that'll be wicked. Oh, and Owen Hillman says, the next round, I'll be there. I'm being treated to a weekend away from my birthday this weekend. Otherwise, I would have entered. I like the sound of that, mate, and I'm glad to hear that you'll be back racing, buddy. That's wicked news. So, thank you. I'm going to assume that's Kat that's messaged on the Castle Combe Racing Club. Thanks, Kat, for catching that one out. I do need to change my printing. I did it all quickly this afternoon. Not as quickly as Kat was having to do in there, desperately trying to get on top of everybody, but well done to the job. So, 2 races before lunch. We got 11:50 as the first race. That's the BCV8's first of 2 races for them, and the Saloon Car Championship before lunch. The grid walk, for those of you who want to do the grid walk, is for the Benjafields Bentley Challenge. So those incredible cars are going to be on the grid. And as long as the weather's not horrific, is that we'll then be able to do a grid walk for that one, which will be lovely. And that is because they're then the first race after lunch break, a 15-minute race from a standing start as well. Wonderful. That's 1 of 2 for them. Then it's the Formula Fords, the Hot Hatch Series, the GT Championship, the BCV8's their second race, the Benjafields Bentley Challenge, their second race, the Formula Fords, their second race, and then it is the Dave Allan Trophy, 40 minutes, pit stops, all of that sort of stuff. It just so much wall-to-wall action for us to get through. And fingers crossed, we'll have a lot better weather than we had at the opening Easter Monday, Howard's Day race meeting. But it doesn't really matter. It was still amazing entertainment, wasn't it? I just know Goose, for example, you put a comment, is that he was saying that the wind was just incredible, even when the rain stopped. So fingers crossed. Remember, it's the 10th anniversary of the Dave Allan Trophy as well. There'll probably be plenty going on in the paddock with Synchro Motorsport and Team Dynamics and all sorts of other bits and pieces, that I'm sure will be in there to celebrate the history And sad loss of an incredible man, test driver for Honda, that used to be in my neck of the woods here in Swindon until sadly closed down. But good to see that the spirit is being kept alive, and that the Honda crew are bringing some pretty amazing teams and drivers and cars with them as well. So it'd be great to see Alan James there, Matt Neal, Craig, that I think I missed actually. Craig did put, apologies Craig if you're still watching, because I think I ended up inadvertently getting carried too far down on the messages, and you did actually put something up. Where did it go? There we go. Craig Smith says, just joined in, working hard, currently trying to get the car finished for Monday. Looking forward to it. Please do get it finished, Craig. It'll be wonderful to catch up. Apologies if you've missed that. Apologies, because I know that was ages ago, an hour ago. Sorry, Craig. You saw how our show goes here. But I think that brings us to an end for this show. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching Combe TV. It's always a pleasure catching up with you all. As I say, it will come back now to being a bit more regular. At least once a month we're going to be doing the shows, and we'll try and get some guests in. Stay tuned, because I've got a new outro that I'm chuffed with. I'm going to play the outro now. But I'll see you all on Monday, and we'll have a fantastic race day from Combe TV, episode 66. Good night.